Hello, and welcome back to another in my Artifacts series, where I make still life photos of people's mementos. My name is Cindy Shebley, and I'm glad you're here. So today, what we're going to do is photograph this pin, this old wooden pin of General MacArthur. I don't know if you can see that, but I believe that it's a handmade pin and the reason why I believe that is, let's see if I can get a close-up on that, but there's actually a safety pin on the back that's been affixed to the back, glued somehow. And the pin itself is, the decal is all chipped and worn and scratched, and I thought that gave it lots and lots of character. So that's what we're going to do today. There's a couple things I need to be aware of, is that this is a glossy surface, so I'm going to have to be careful about the reflections. And it's very small, so I'm going to want to be sure and probably use a macro, but I'll test out a few different lenses. Now, I want to make this pin the hero of my shot. You get my joke? General MacArthur, if you're not familiar, participated in World War II and the Korean War, and he was quite highly regarded, as you can see from this pin. So for the background, I thought that I would use my father's flag, his military flag that was draped over his coffin when he passed away and was presented to me. My father, like General MacArthur, was in World War II and Korea both. Not a decorated general, but he was a hero to me. I'm fairly certain that I'm going to go ahead and use my LCD light panels for this shot so that I can see and control the reflections, because I'm going to use a shiny black surface to create some reflections, and it's a lot easier for me visually to be able to use the light panels. So let's see how that works. Let's start setting up the studio and get into it. In order to get the pin to stand up straight, I'm going to use a little tack on the back. So I'm just going to put it on the back here, try to make sure it doesn't overlap any of the sides, but get it down as far as I can, and then just set it up as straight as possible on the background. And there we go. You know, something just doesn't look quite finished about this shot. I think I need to add something here in the middle ground to bring out a little bit more depth. I found these old dog tags in this Band-Aid tin. Looks like we got some old dog tags and a few bullets. That ought to fill in. This background will show everything. It's worse than glass. Any kind of spot, speck, or dust will show up on the final image. Now, of course, I can clone it out, but the fewer spots I have to clone, the better I like it. So I'm just going to clean this with a microfiber cloth before I take the picture. Make sure I get as many dust spots off as possible. So instead of using my strobe lights, I've decided to use my LED light panels and just go with a constant light. And then I'm going to use my little Ulanzi light to do an overhead light, a third overhead light, position it where I want it so I get a good reflection and make sure that our MacArthur pin is the hero of the shot. After trying on a couple of different lenses, I've decided to return to my trusty 100mm macro lens because I want a shallow depth of field. Mostly what I want is just General MacArthur and some reflections of the stars and stuff around him. So I'm going to use a fairly narrow depth of field. I don't have to really too much worry about it because it will be a real narrow depth of field. What I do need to worry about is to make sure that I'm right on plane with the pin and it's as straight as can be. And that the camera is as level as can be. If I don't, the pin, top or bottom, will be out of focus. Now I can also focus stack it, which is pretty easy to do too, which I may just take the extra photos just to make sure that I have them all in focus. But it's better to get it right in camera, as they say, than to have to try to fix it in post-production. So are you ready? For you that care, I'm on ISO 200, f5.6 at a half a second, and I'm about ready to press the shutter release. 1, 2, 3, let's go! So that's it. I hope you liked it. If you'd like to see more videos in this series, you can check out my playlist called Artifacts. If you'd like to see more still photos that I've done in my Artifacts series, you can check the link below to see my online portfolio. Thanks again. We'll see you again soon, I hope.